I know that there are a lot of bass players who say that we really shouldn't be playing anything above the 5th fret. If you are one of those players, I'm about to change your mind. Friends and neighbors, welcome back to the Brownstone. Today we are talking about walking bass lines, and I'm going to cover some information that I've talked about before on the channel, but I'm making this video the official part 2 of a video that I did a while ago about bass lines being, walking bass lines being a lot easier than you think. So let's get into it. As per usual, we are talking about playing a simple walking bass line over a 12-bar blues. But today I don't want to focus on the line itself. I want to focus more on your note choices and expanding your palette just a little bit. Well, actually a lot. With a 12-bar blues, you are dealing with 3 chords, and I'm just going to be speaking in terms of the triads, so I will refer to these chords as major chords. We have the 1 chord. In this case, we're going to be playing in the key of C. So if I play the C major triad, volume, right? That's a simple shape that we all know. That's C up to the E at the 2nd fret of the D string to the 5th fret of the D string for the note G. And that's a very simple shape that we should all learn if we don't know already. Now, the 4 chord goes up to the F and plays the same shape. And then we move up to G, which is the 5 chord, and we play the same shape. You know this. So, when I'm thinking about 1, 4, 5, these are just the degrees of the C major scale. That's my scale. So 1 is the root, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my 4 chord. And then 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my 5 chord. So hopefully that all makes sense. Now what we're going to do today is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to change the position of our triads. I'm going to move down to the 8th fret of the E string. Now check it out. If I play these notes, which are C to E to G, well, I can move down to the 8th fret of the E string and play C there. My E is at the 7th fret of the A string, and then the G stays in the same place. Now, what I want to be able to do is recognize those 3 notes every time they appear in this new area of the neck. So basically what I'm doing is I'm covering an area from, like, I would say the 5th fret to the 9th fret of the fretboard. So I've got the root, the 3rd, the 5th, but check it out. I haven't touched the notes of the G string yet, but I know that I have a C at the 5th fret. There's my root again. C to C. And I know if I move up to the 9th fret of the G string, that's a major 3rd, which is going to be the note E, which is naturally one of the notes of the triad. So beyond this simple shape of 3 notes, I can then expand that shape to include those 2 notes at the 5th fret of the G and the 9th fret of the G. So this is my full shape of the C major triad as it appears in this area of the neck. And it sounds super musical and very beautiful, and I'm still getting that low end so that the bass purists don't get too angry with us, right? So run this shape. Get it under your fingers, learn it to where it's second nature, because it's going to come in very handy when you start putting your walking bass lines together. So those were the notes of our 1 chord, right? That's our C major. Beautiful, right? So now let's move up to the 4 chord. Again, if I play 1, 2, 3, 4, that F is located right underneath, that's my 4 chord, that's right underneath the C. There's C, there's F. So, stands to reason that I could do the same thing at the 8th fret of the E string, and then move up to the 8th fret of the A string, there's my F. Now, what are the notes of the F major triad? I've got F to A to C. So, I can play the F at the 8th fret of the A string, and then move up to the A at the 7th fret of the D string, and then the C stays in the same place. So it's the exact same shape that we started with when we moved the C major triad down to the 8th fret. Same shape. But here's the thing about this particular triad. I've got F to A to C, root, 3rd, 5th, but I haven't touched the E string at all. And we already know that at the 8th fret of the E string, what note do we have? We have the C. So I can include that note into my pattern. But check it out. The second note, my 3rd, there's my F. That second note is an A. And I already know that there's an A at the 5th fret of the E string. So that means I can include these 2 notes on the E string into my pattern. Those notes being the 8th fret of the E string and the 5th fret of the E string. When I include those 2 notes, I get a really beautiful sounding pattern. These are just the notes of the F major triad. So when I put them all together, what do I have? I've got the F. I'll just recap those notes. F at the 8th fret of the A string. That's the root. My 3rd is the note A. That's at the 7th fret of the D string. My 5th is the note C. That's at the 5th fret of the G string. F to A to C. And then all I do is include the C at the 8th fret of the E string and the A at the 5th fret of the E string. And then I put those notes together. So now I've got 2 shapes that I can use. I've got the shape for all of the notes of the triad of the C major. And now I've got the shape for the F major. Now, we have one more shape that we have to figure out. That's the 5 chord. We've already established that that 5 chord is going to be the G major. So, again, if we examine the notes of a G major triad, we've got the G at the 3rd fret of the E string. There's B, that's our major 3rd, at the 2nd fret of the A string. And then we go up to the 5th fret of the A string to play our 5th, which is the note D. G, B, D. These are our 3 notes for the G major triad. Now, I already know that I have a G at the 5th fret of the D string. That's a G there. If I move up to the major 3rd, that's a B. But maybe I don't want to play that B. Maybe I want to take that B down an octave and play it at the 7th fret of the E string. So check this out. Instead of playing root up to the 3rd, I can also play root down to the 3rd, right? So G, B, which is also G, B, right? I'm going to stick with this. G down to the B, which is the major 3rd, at the 7th fret of the E string. Now, the D, that's located at the 5th fret of the A string. There's my root, there's my 3rd, there's my 5th. Now, if I wanted to, let's say I incorporate that 2nd B at the 9th fret of the D string. We can totally do that. So there's the root, there's the 3rd, and then check it out. The 5th is here. That's my D at the 7th fret of the G string. That's the octave of the low D at the 5th fret of the A string. I hope that's all making sense. If it doesn't, then check out the sound, watch the patterns, and maybe you can learn this way as well. I'm trying to give you all the information that I possibly can. So there's the G, there's the B, there's the D. And then I can play the regular triad. And then come back down. Then there's G. Or I can go all the way back down to the G at the 3rd fret of the E. But for this particular lesson, I really want to stick with this position of the neck going from the 5th fret to the 9th fret of the fretboard. This is the area that we're going to be working with. If we do that, then that's our shape. Now, we can even start that shape from the lowest note and play from that B and go up the pattern. I hope that makes sense. So what we've done here is we've established 3 different patterns that incorporate all of the note choices for our major triads. Now, if we put them all together, this is going to be your exercise. We're just going to play those shapes, just one after the other. Or maybe you can just play them twice. Whatever you need to do in order to get the shapes locked into the muscle memory and under the fingers comfortably, that's what you do. If you need to play one shape 4 times and then go to the next shape and play that 4 times, that's totally cool. Whatever it takes, that's what you do. C, E, G, C, E, and then back. Now where are those notes? 8th fret of the E, up to the 7th fret of the A, up to the 5th fret of the D, to the 5th fret of the G, up to the 9th fret of the G, and then we come back down. That's our first shape. That's our 1 chord, our C major. Now I'm going to flip to the F. That shape, that's F at the 8th fret of the A string, up to the 7th fret of the D string, to the 5th fret of the G string. And then we come back down, and then we play the 8th fret of the E string along with the 5th fret of the E string. And that's our shape for the F major. And now our last shape. Remember the last shape for the G major? We've got G down to the B, and then we play triad here. Once we've got that shape down, we can start from the lowest note, that B. And those are the three shapes. All right, so I'm gonna finish this lesson by playing through those shapes. Maybe I'll do them 2 times each, and then you can hear how these notes flow so that when you start to incorporate them into your walking bass lines, they make more sense melodically. They also outline the changes in a beautiful way, and you're not just playing root 3rd 5th or root 5th for the entire tune. Check it out. And that's that. Friends and neighbors, I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm going to make another video very soon where we start to incorporate this into more of walking bassline patterns. Right now it sounds like classical music, but this is an exercise that will really help to get these shapes under your fingers so that you can improvise using these shapes, because you don't necessarily have to play those notes in the particular order that I'm playing them in. This is just to learn the shape, and then we'll make more music out of them as we progress. So if you like this video, please do click like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, click the notification bell so that you know when the next video in this little series is coming out. And there are a number of ways that you can donate to the channel if you are in a position to do so. All of the above is greatly, greatly appreciated. And do leave a like and a comment and let me know if this information is working for you. And I will see you very soon in the next video. Thank you for visiting me here once again in the brownstone, and I'll see you soon. Peace.